Hello everyone and welcome to Totally Online Gaming Group's live stream of our D&D 5th edition campaign, The Blackest Heart. We're glad you guys could join us tonight. Hope you're going to have a fun time. Got to have some announcements that we go through before we begin our game. So I'm going to first start out, as always, with a shout out to our sponsor, Critical Hit Gaming Supplies. Make sure you check them out. And one of my mods can go ahead if they want and put that link in the chat, and you guys can follow that. And when you do, make sure you use our discount code that we have, especially for all you Toggledites out there. Yes, if you haven't been here before, that is what we call you. Our discount code is TOGG15, TOGG15, and that'll get you 15% discount on your purchases at Critical Hit Gaming Supplies. So make sure you check them out. They got a lot of great stuff. Also want to give a shout out to Team Spock and the Spock Nation. And so for everyone here who is who's watching, who's a member of Team Spock, a special shout out for you guys. If it wasn't for Team Spock and the support and love we got from them, we wouldn't have been able to find all you guys, and you guys find us. So that you could come and watch and help us get affiliate, which we officially now have as of this stream. Had a long time waiting for all the strange paperwork to get through, but now that's all done. So we are officially an affiliate, which means, if you'll notice, if you're in chat, we got some new toys in there for you. You'll notice there are channel points, and you can use those for a couple different things, including if you get up to 2,500 channel points, you can then select that option and pick a player and give them advantage on a roll. Okay? Make sure if you do that, you identify which character gets that roll. You can also, if you like to be evil and devious, give me advantage on a roll. So that's some of the things you can do. We also got some emotes and some badges that you guys can use that are made just for this channel. So hopefully you guys will stick around long enough and try out some of those things and enjoy them. I also want to give a shout out to Aaron Discord server, ARRYN. They are a D&D community. A whole bunch of people just love Dungeons & Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. You can go on there, find lots of people to discuss things about Dungeons & Dragons, to just make new friends of people who share your interest in the game, and also to set up games like play by post or online through Discord. So a lot of great opportunities there for some gaming and meeting new people. Also, I do want to say one other thing, which is I need to apologize because on last week's stream, for whatever reason, when the stream ended, I went back to my Twitch channel. It did not record the stream into the VOD. So unfortunately, for any of you who are watching this episode on YouTube, the previous episode there is no recording of. We don't have it. So I will give a recap when I kind of recap the game here for everyone so you know where we're at. But there is no video of it, which is sad because there were some pretty interesting things that happened last game. Some interesting character moments. So sorry about that. Have figured out how to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we will have that video available on the VOD, and it will go for this session, and it will go onto the YouTube channel on sometime on Saturday, and we'll get a notification out there to let you know. All right, I think that's it for my announcements. Does anybody else have anything they need to or wish to announce? All right, I'll take that as a no. One last thing. We do have two of our players. As always, our lovely party wizard, due to his class schedule, will be delayed in getting here, but he will show up eventually. And our bard is going to be a little bit late tonight, but as soon as they show up, they'll get here. Don't worry, our little lovely warlock sorcerer Rhea is here. Her camera just isn't currently working quite right now. Hopefully that'll get fixed. If not, you'll still have her lovely token to look at for the show. But other than that, I think that covers everything. So without further ado, we bring you The Blackest Heart. Okay, so we are back. So let's recap where we were at last time. The party had arrived in the dwarven city of Derngahrum, where they managed to get themselves an inn for the night. And during that evening, after the bard had decided that it was time to party and got severely drunk, uh, she found herself sharing a room with the party wizard Jacob, where a lot of things came out, including some talk of love and a forbidden kiss between the two, which in the morning the bard did not realize one bit as she was suffering from the world's worst hangover in existence. Meanwhile, pretty sure the other party members already had suspicions on what was going on, as Oak's random cough, how's that go again, Oak? Just kept popping up. Well, at the morning, when everyone awoke, the the barbarian, the druid, and our little halfling magic user decided that they were going to go out and find out what's going out around in the town and see if they could maybe make some purchases at some local shops. And they decided, first off, to visit a seamstress, where Rhea was interested in a beautiful dress that was cut in such a way as to be fit for battle. Oak just wanted a shirt. And Galdur, in his dwarven form, decided he probably should have some clothes that fit the form, at the urging and prompting of Oak and Rhea. So they went to a seamstress, and then they found out that they are now mired in the wonderful bureaucracy that is Derngahrum, which is akin to probably the most busy, backed up DMV in existence. As they navigated the paperwork and the bureaucrats in the city in order to get permission just to purchase things, they realized that stuff costs a lot around here. And eventually were joined by Diana and Jacob, who also wanted to accomplish some tasks, including trying to see if they could earn a bit of money with some performance, but they didn't have the proper permit, so needed to find how to get a permit, and ended up running into the remainder of their party, who were also in the process of finalizing their permits. Fortunately for them, as a group of adventurers who now call themselves the Lost, they managed to exploit an older law that is still kind of a loophole in the system, put there in place early on, that allows adventurers who typically bring with them strange and wonderful riches, as well as the exotic, being that this city is pretty much almost 100% dwarves. it's something of a novelty for them to see other races in the city. So the adventurers, fortunately, were able to get a special permit that allowed them to carry out their business now without anywhere near as much hassle. After finalizing all of that stuff, they decided, you know what? Uh, we're going to go and take care of that shopping business and our other things, and then we'll see where we go from there. And that's where we left off last time. So, that is where you guys are. So, Oak, Rhea, you guys had said you were going to go back to the Glorious Spindle, and Galdur, you're going to go back to the inn to lodges. Okay. Uh, well then, let's start with you, Galdur. Actually, we'll start with Oak and Rhea because the Glorious Spindle is closer to where you are currently than Lodge's Inn and Tavern. So you two, well, first, quick question: do you plan on walking there, or are you going to try to find one of the Derngahrum rickshaws and make your way that way? Okay. So you guys flag down a rickshaw. Um, are you going to join them for the ride, Galder? There is enough room. Okay. So you guys flag down a rickshaw. There's not a ton of them around, but you know, if you're paying attention, you definitely can find one. And you see one, you wave it down, and a what looks to be a young, very well-built female dwarf pulls up in front of you with her rickshaw and says, "Oh, so you want to be having a ride? Okay, please, come on. Where would you like to go?" That is not a problem. Okay, let us go. And you guys pile in, and she takes off. Now, you were about, I'd say it was probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon by this point. When, yeah, when, when you finally arrive in front of the Glorious Spindle. It's only about a quick trek, maybe 15, 20 minutes in the rickshaw. But, I mean, you were taking so much time with all the paperwork that it's now kind of the middle afternoon. So, hold on one sec. So, as you arrive in front of the Glorious Spindle, your driver stops and says, "Okay, here you are," and holds out her hand. She looks at her hand, looks up at you, and then just that is a good one. It, for a trip like this is customary 5 gold. Okay, she happily accepts it and drops it into her pouch at her hip. Uh, and then she begins to take off. Now, Galder, if you wish to continue the ride, uh, you you can, and you know she'll just charge you for going to the inn, or you can walk from there. Okay, okay. So you hop off and start walking back towards the inn, and Oak and Rhea, as you enter the Glorious Spindle, once again you see the shopkeep. And let me see if I can find her name once again. Where is it? believe it was Vondal Runner. I think that was the one. Yeah. Oh, that might. Yeah, I see. I might be mixing up whose name was where. Oh, let me look real quick. Yes, I think. Yes, yes, I think you are right. I'll have to find out later on. Um, I know, I know. Uh, but you know what? For now, I'm going to say that her name is no longer what it was. her her name is Marley Goldgrinder. It it might have been it might have even been that one. I don't remember. Uh, that's why I have notes, and unfortunately, it's I didn't get it all organized like I wanted to. So, but there she is, and she sees you guys come in, and she recognizes you, and she says, "Oh, welcome back. I am glad to see you." Uh, nope. Okay, hold on. I'm doing some audio adjustment here as much as I can. I apologize if the audio isn't the greatest for those who are watching. I am out of town doing this on my laptop, and not all the stuff likes to work as nicely as my setup at home. So I just tried to turn up their audio more. Hopefully that will help, but unfortunately I cannot give any guarantees to that. So everyone say hi real quick just to see. Okay, so hopefully we'll get some response on that so that we can say that you guys are actually able to be heard. All right, so that's what you tell Marley and show her, and she says, "Oh, okay, wonderful. So you have your permits now, yes? Okay." She stands there waiting to. So it's pretty obvious that she's waiting to see it. Okay. So you give out the permit. Okay. And she takes a look over and she says, "Oh, that is very well. So you call yourself the Lost. Interesting. Advent adventurers. Not times we see many of you here. This is good. Okay. So yes, uh, please." She gestures to you, Rhea, to the looks like a little stand in front of some mirrors, and says, "Please stand here so I may take the measurements." All right, and she pulls out a basically a long knotted string and starts, going along your arms and your legs, around your waist and stuff, and checking, and then writing down some stuff on a scrap of parchment after each measurement, and then she walks over to the dress you had chosen previously, takes that uh, and the little scrap of parchment, sticks it kind of on the hanger setup that it has for the dress, and lays it over the counter. And then she goes and retrieves the shirt that Oak had chosen and brings that and now gestures to Oak over to the mirror. Okay, and she takes a couple quick measurements and then writes that down on another scrap of parchment, puts that with the shirt on the counter, and then goes and gets the outfit uh, that she had recommended for Galdur. Takes it and says, "I'm pretty sure he was basically this exact size. So if you wish, I can have all of this done by the end of the day. Uh, uh, where might you be staying?" It was Ladja's Inn and Tavern. It's Ladja's Inn and Tavern. Yep, Ladya, Ladya. Hmm. Oh, very good. I know that place well. If you wish, I can have these items delivered once everything is finished. Oh, oh, hmm. I I suppose I could. I haven't had an apprentice in many years. It would be nice to pass on some skill. I think there's something I can do. Yes. So she, shows you guys to the back of the store and indicates some places to sit, and then uh, pulls out your dress, Rhea, and begins to go to work, and all the while she is talking to both of you, but she's kind of showing, holding things up and showing Oak, and kind of every once in a while she'll gesture Oak for you to kind of stand up and take a close look at what she's doing. And as she, does that, you're seeing how she's working with the material, and with certain things you notice with like the silk on the dress, there's a specific way she does the stitching so as to keep the stitches small and hidden yet strong, but she doesn't want to mar the quality of the silk. But then on some of the other materials on there that are more uh, sturdy and more fit for battle, as you had requested, Rhea, the stitches are much larger, more numerous, and obviously meant for being able to take a lot of force on them without becoming undone. And she goes through all these different stitches and how to you know fold the material properly to get the seam the way you want. And after probably a good hour of observing, you feel you might have a handle on some of these. So I need you to make one of your sewing kit checks and see how well you are picking up this information. Well, let's see here. On your character sheet, let me take a look. Do, 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 do. So your sewing kit, I believe, is going to be under dexterity for the appropriate skill. It's either going to be dexterity or perhaps wisdom. I'll have to see what I had put on there and decided on there before. Once the sheet pops open, once the sheet pops open. So let's see here. Uh, yeah, I'm going to say dexterity because it's a matter of being able the skills are they're not super complicated. The things she's telling you uh, and showing you, but it does require being very precise. And so it's definitely dexterity. So you're basically going to be making a proficiency check with uh, your dexterity modifier added to it. So for you, that will be a plus 2 plus, so a 1d20 plus 4. Or sorry, 1d20 plus 5. Plus 5. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, yeah, you definitely think that this is something that you can do. Uh, you actually pick up about 3 new ways of performing the stitches and making seams. You feel that you could actually make something pretty cool with combining those skills with some materials if you took some time to do so. All right. So, while you guys are busy doing that, Galdur, about 10 minutes after, actually, you were walking, so about 20 minutes after leaving Oak and Rhea at the Glorious Spindle, you arrive back up at Ladja's Inn and Tavern. And when you get there, uh, you walk in, and once again you are greeted by the sights and sounds of several already tipsy dwarves filling the common room. Some of them are talking very loudly. You think you may hear an argument in the corner somewhere. You also hear, uh, you know, what sounds like maybe a some kind of card game or other uh, gambling going on. And there is the smell of uh, fresh food wafting out of the kitchen. You smell the typical smells of cooked meats and cheeses and breads that the dwarves tend to feed themselves with. And as you walk in, I mean, you in your dwarven form, you for the most part blend right in, with the exception of your current attire is a little less, I'd say less boisterous than what most of them are wearing. It as you're still basically having a robe on that's Jacob's size and not yours. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, jeez. Oh boy, we got ourselves a playboy here. Well, of course you are a fake creature, so you know. Yes, yes, there is there is a an armoire up against one wall. There is also a desk that has stone carved legs that are actually carved right into. It's like they're almost like they grew right out of the stone of the floor. They're all basically one piece, but it has this gorgeous polished oak top that is going across it, and then there's a mirror on it. Um, As far as other wood, you see hints of accents of wood here and there, but nothing as substantial as the armoire or the top of that kind of desk, multi-purpose desk table area. At, okay, absolutely. Uh, so you're putting a you're like freeze damaging the wood in the back of the armoire inside to make a symbol of Melora. Okay. So okay, yeah, that's right. Chill touch is necrotic. Just the name sounds cold. Uh, okay. So basically, you're getting like the wood is like rotted in this spiral design. Okay. All right, that sounds good. So you go ahead and do that, and then after kind of stepping back and admiring your work, give me a perception check. Okay. You hear just, it's not even a whisper. It is so quiet. You can barely make out the words, but you hear a voice, and that voice sounds very familiar to you. And, and I am going to send you a whisper message as to what you hear. Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to word this correctly, and it's being slow in the. Okay, there you go. So that is the whisper. All right. Okay. And as you do that, and you're coming out of your room, you just happen to see someone coming out of the adjacent room who's got an owl on their shoulder and a blindfold across their face as the wizard made a quick pit stop back at the hotel at the room before heading off to the library. Since Jacob is now here and I am currently putting his video feed into the game. So give me a moment to do that. Okay, change that, and then that. Okay, and there we go. So now we got Jacob back in. Okay, so Jacob, to quick catch you up on where we're at. Um, uh, Diana is not here just yet. She's going to be coming in later. She had a busy day, so she's running a little late. But after all of you guys finished getting your official permit to basically conduct whatever business was necessary under your group name of the Lost, uh, you just happened to make a quick pit stop back at the inn in the room, maybe to drop something off. And as you were coming out of the room, Galdur was coming out of the other room, now in centaur form. And then I believe you were planning on heading to the library. Yes, absolutely. There are plenty of shops around of various types. You can pretty much find uh, anything that there is a true market for. They probably have something of that here. Okay. Okay. Hold on one second. Answering a message real quick. Okay. All right. So yeah, if you want to try to create uh, some jewelry, then you can absolutely see if you can find a jeweler to help you in that task. Is this something like you're looking to commission the jewelry, or you're looking to learn how to do it yourself? Okay. Oh yeah, that's easy enough to find a jeweler that can make custom work. You just have to be, you know, finding a jewelry store. It's not that hard. So, and right now, though, you have stepped out of your room, and there is Galdur in full centaur glory standing there. So now, okay, so now you're a human form. Yeah, yeah, okay. You actually look pretty good now that you've got clothes that are fitting your chosen form on. Yeah, remember you got that lovely little token. You got that lovely little you got that lovely little token from John the Brown, so you can go back and visit. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, you guys head out. Do you want to go ahead and get Ladya's young son to rickshaw you somewhere, or would you prefer to walk? Yep. You last time you remember that you had to ask Ladya, and she went, and he was actually out in what could be considered the stables area. However, there you haven't really seen many horses, if any, in the city. It seems to be kind of more like a garage for rickshaws. So he is typically not in the tavern, at least that you could tell. All right, so you guys go ahead. Okay. All right. So as you walk over there, sure enough, you see Sean Lev, and he's just kind of resting out there on a bench next to the rickshaw, and he sees you getting attacked by your dog. Well, you see he sees you approaching, and he stands up with uh, his boisterous personality, and is like, "Oh yes, it is you. Would you like a ride again?" Yes. Uh, my family. You did not. My mother did not give you our family name. Yes. That would be Vin. That would be Vin Runner. Yes. Of course. Yes, we are. A fairly decent sized clan. I mean, there are only four clans in the city. So, what else? A quarter of the people here at least are venue runners. Possibly more. We tend to get around. Yes, that is not a problem. I know what to take you. So yes, just hop in. Let's go. Okay. Yes, it is. Oh, okay. Uh, okay. Rhea, what have you done? What have you done, Rhea? It's infectious. Yes. Oak's got trees, or is it dicks? Okay. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you can certainly try to do that. Roll a sleight of hand. Well, it's not hard because you didn't need much at all. Uh, because, well, he's in front of you a good 5 feet, holding on to the two support arms that come out of the rickshaw in this four-person rickshaw. Uh, and there's he's not paying attention to what you guys are doing back there. So yeah, you made it. It wasn't super hard. It was basically just don't roll a one. You know.
It's actually only about 15 minutes or so. I need a perception check, Galdur. All right. So, as your little rickshaw ride continues on, you eventually are now down in that general merchant district. Um, you actually pass by the glorious spindle, which Oak and Rhea, you are still in there. You've been in there. You're about 45 minutes now into the 1 hour that the seamstress spent showing you stuff. Uh, so yes, absolutely, I can do that for you. So she takes the paper, she studies it a little bit, and she, start she starts showing Oak, how she's kind of embroidering the words and the symbol on there. So that's one of the kind of stitching methods that you learn is actually doing kind of an embroidery with stitching, through that. If that's even the correct term, I don't know. I don't know sewing. but that's Yeah, but that's what she's doing, and that's one of the things you're kind of you pick up on a little bit. Uh, but you still got about 15 minutes left of that hour, and you two
Galdur and Jacob, as you go past the glorious spindle, and once you go past that, about 2 minutes more pass in your journey when uh, Shanlev finally, comes to a stop, on your left and right. Again, as you're looking and you've been coming around to your right, the this section of the city where you are kind of in those tiered sections against the wall. When you look to the right, that's looking towards the center of the city. So you're on this one roadway, and which almost seems to go into the top of the buildings to your right, and then that drops down to another street that's at their level, and then that is actually ground level for the city. And then to your left, it goes up, kind of in a step position like that, and you're kind of curving around this outside of the cavern on these streets. And you see to your left several different shops, and the one he stops in front of just has a nice stone placard uh, kind of right out on the front of the building with a beautifully carved gemstone symbol right in the middle of it. And for those of you that speak Dwarven, uh, I know I had his name somewhere. Hold on. Yeah. There it is. It is. This is. It. This right here is called the Gilded Anklet. As you see in Dwarvish, right above that, beautifully carved into the stone relief of a gem. So I assume you go in. Yes. Yep. Uh, as you go ahead. All right. Well, no problem. So you guys walk in, I assume, and as you walk in, uh, you can see that there are actually several beautifully crafted cases with that are crafted out of wood and glass that go along each side to the left and right of you, with some space behind them and then shelves behind those. And in these cases, as you are walking in and looking at them, you see all manner of different cuts of gems in different types of settings. Uh, most things are gold or platinum. You see very little silver, but there is some silver. Uh, but there's gold, there's platinum. You see all manner of different gemstones uh, placed in these different settings, from rubies to emeralds to diamonds to different colored diamonds like blue diamonds, black diamonds. You see pearls, all sorts of different really nice looking gemstones in settings that are, some of them are look very delicate and finely detailed, and others look just super gaudy. Like, this is what you expect Flavor Flav to wear, minus the big clock. And I might be dating myself if you guys even know who Flavor Flav is. All right. But I mean, we're talking like Mr. T gold. Yes. Like Mr. T gold chains. Okay? That's another one. Hmm. I pity the fool. Okay. Yes, yes. Please use your scrying spell of Go Ogle And but yeah, just some things are really gaudy and out there, and it's like, who would even wear that? I mean, let alone who could afford that? Because just the sheer amount of gold that's there, or and gems all over it and things. So there are quite a few things in here, a very wide selection. And you see another one of those very nice wood. It's like a deep, uh, dark stained wood with these, glass top and sides at the back of the store. And on behind that, you can see some sparks coming up off of what looks like a grinding wheel that's going, and a dwarf that is kind of hunched over this grinding wheel and seems to be focusing on something he's doing. Just put little touches here and there to the grinding wheel. Then he seems to turn his back to you to some other bench and do some stuff there, and comes back, and he seems very focused on what he's doing and not really paying attention to you guys coming into the shop. He seems to be. As far as you can tell, you see no one else there. Huh? What? And you see him turn, and he kind of looks at you, squints his eyes a little bit, and says, "What can I do for you? Huh? Who is asking? And who is me? You come into my shop." Okay. Nice to meet you, Jonathan. I am Dworik. This is my shop. What can I do? Gold grinder. What other dwarves would you think be doing jewelry, huh? This is our purview. Rugged. Yes, I think he is, a fifth cousin, yes. Okay, what? Show me what you want this. Okay. And you're just doing this on roll 20 or whisper? Okay, in Discord. Gotcha. Just gotta make sure I'm on the right thing. All right, let's see. let me see. Hold on. You just describe it to him, or do you like try to draw any of it? Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. All right. So he kind of waves you as he walks from around that back counter. He goes behind one of the side counters and kind of waves you to come down and stand on the other side and look in. And he points down at some different necklaces down there. You see, there's a couple different ones. Uh, there's a couple out of silver. One of them is very heavy. A very kind of large silver chain. The and it has a small pendant on it. The other one is more. It's much more fine detailed. It's very. What's the word I'm looking for? It is very. It's intricate, but it is also very unassuming as far as if you were to wear it, and if someone was to wear that chain and you had just like your regular clothes on and all that, unless someone was particularly noticeable, they're good at noticing things in general, they might write it off as not even there because it's thin. It's a very small detailed chain work, so it's beautiful, but it doesn't shout look at me type thing. He also shows you similar things in gold. Uh, and there's more in gold, different selections, different style chain work. Some are like a rope chain, others are more of like just not even a chain, but like a flat band. And then he has also several in platinum that also similar designs. What interests you? Okay, okay. So he points to the fine silver one, a very similar looking one in gold, and another very similar one in platinum. And as he points to the one in silver, he says, "The basic for just this, and that's just the chain. There's no pendant or anything on it. The basic for this is uh, about 50 gold. For this one," he points to the gold one, "this is 120." And then he points to the platinum one. He says, "This one here would be 300 gold." Yes, it is very light. There's not a ton of material there, but it is pricey. Yeah, Galdur, you're hearing blah 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 blah. Is that silver or is that blah 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 blah? And coming out of Jacob's mouth. I will tell you this, Jacob, that you looking at it and uh, with your wonderful brain power that Jacob has, you estimate that like if you were to take like that platinum chain and melt it down, that and then turn it into a coin. It's the equivalent of like one platinum coin in amount of actual material. Same for like the gold and the silver. And the expense is not so much the material but the craftsmanship. Okay. Uh, yes, and for the other part of that, let me see. Duh, duh, duh. Okay. Look here. He takes you around to the other side of the store, and where there's a lot of gemstones, and he points out the different gemstones, and he points out specifically the type you asked about, uh, and he's, for the different sizes, you see anything from down to the size of like a pea to uh, something the size of maybe a almost a golf ball. And he he points, he's kind of going along, and he starts and down at the pea size. He's like, this would be 25 gold for this stone, just as is. It, another 25 for setting that uh, in a proper setting within the pendant. Um, and then when he gets up to the golf ball one, this one to cut it and fit it is actually a very good deal. Is only 100 platinum. No, he doesn't know Dwarven anymore. Oh, yeah. Of course, you can speak. You can speak Druidic, and if Galdur natively knew, uh, what was the one you just said? Sylvan. Yeah. Well, then you'd still know those. You're asking him. Yeah. Um. He kind of looks at you for a moment, and he's like, "Hold on one second." He runs off to the back, and he comes out with, you see what looks like a just a simple ring. You also see uh, a necklace. It is not super detailed. It is not super uh, intricate. It's like he didn't spend a ton of time on it. Uh, and then you also see what looks just like a copper pendant, and there's actually a small little opal in it. And he says, "This is all I have in copper. You this." He points to the first one. 5 gold. This is 7. This 15. need to change for copper. No, 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 no. How much? Hmm. He looks at it for a little bit, and he says, uh, how much you want to spend? Okay. Okay, yeah. If you can describe the symbol, he looks at you. And says, this I can do. I can do something for you. And no, he says, no, this I can do. It is not a problem. Now for you. And he points back to you, Jacob. And he kind of takes what you've described and chosen and everything, what you pointed out with on the gemstone and all that. And he says, okay, based on what you say for description, uh, I can make this in total 500 gold total. The amount for the gemstone, setting it properly in there, the filigree, the artwork of the design you ask. He looks at the extra one. He looks at the extra one, and he kind of smiles at you. He's like, I tell you what, I put this towards your friends. Now you have 36 gold. He says, I am busy. This kind of work takes some time. I tell you what, you are very interesting. I will get to work on this now. This is an interesting design. I could maybe have this done midday tomorrow. Oh, did we freeze? It looks like we have frozen. Did you guys freeze up? No, we have a freeze up. Oh, nope, there. We had a freeze up. Everyone sounds back. Everyone's back. Okay, so he says I can have this to you midday tomorrow. Do you want this? You come pick it up, or do you want it delivered to you? Okay, no problem. Midday tomorrow. I should have ready. Okay. Okay. He kind of shrugs at that. Now, as you are, so as you guys are leaving, if you are, I need perception checks from both of you. Nice. All right. All right. Yeah, you guys, both of you kind of catch briefly out of the corner of your eye on one of the shelves. It would be on your left as you're walking out. On one of the shelves, there seems to be a cat just kind of perched there, and it's eyeing you as you walk through. And it looks like there's like it's really paying attention to your movements. That's all you notice. No, both of you see it. Okay. So do you try to flag down another uh, dwarven rickshaw driver, or do you try to find your way and walk? Hey, You're being creative with it. I love it. Yeah, honestly, I don't think you have used it once in battle, have you? Yeah, yeah. You've never used it to attack. All right, so you managed to flag down another dwarven rickshaw, and you tell them you want to go to the library, and the rickshaw driver says, no problem, and turns the rickshaw around, and you once again start heading back in the direction you were that you came from to get to the Gilded Anklet. And about 2 minutes later, you are now passing by the front of the Glorious Spindle when Oak and Rhea, that's you have finished that 1 hour of training time in there, and you are now heading out. And you see, oh, if you want to stay longer, you can. Okay, Rhea, do you want to stay with her, or do you want to go do something else? Okay, so so Rhea, as you step out, you see a one of the dwarven rickshaws heading your direction, and you distinctly see Jacob as Hrim perched on his shoulder with a human, with a blindfold across his eyes, is not hard to mistake in this area, sitting next to another human that looks a lot like Galdor's facial features, but is a human. the the driver, slows down and stops right in front for Rhea to be able to hop on with you. And before we go to what you guys do there, so Oak, how long do you want to spend? She will allow you to stay there until the shop closes. Right now, you're looking at it's about 3:30 or so in the afternoon, getting closer to 4. Okay. Uh, okay. She will be closing the shop at 6, and so she will allow you to stay that long. So you'd basically be able to get another good 2 hours more of training. Uh, so go ahead and give me two more of those sewing kit rolls. So again, that's going to be 1d20 plus 5 for you. Ooh, okay. All right. So uh, I am going to send you some information in a little bit. Okay. But for the other three, you are now heading towards a library in this rickshaw, and it takes you about 45 minutes or so as you're going along because you're having to actually go towards the center of the city, and then once you get in there, you then have to go get off the rickshaw and head up into higher levels of the structures in order to get to kind of the research and academia level. And once again, when you get dropped off, the driver holds out his hand. Okay. He gives a brief nod, puts it in a pouch at his side, and takes off. Uh, and then you guys, it's not hard to find as you're asking around to get directions on how to get to the the libraries because the academic level is, if I remember right from the last session, I said it was on I think the second level. It's actually like the level, pretty much the level right above the ground floor. So you actually go up into that, and all these buildings on second level and above, it looks like basically stone skyscrapers is the center of this city. And between these skyscrapers, you have decent sized walkways, and roadways, I should say, at the base level. But every level that you go up, and when you look up, there seem to be stone bridges between several of them, crisscrossing kind of in a maze like path that almost every building seems somehow connected to the other buildings around through many different stone bridges between their different levels. Uh, like for if any of you guys have ever been to Atlanta for Dragon Con, they've got these like sky bridges that go across the roads between some of the hotels and stuff like that in downtown Atlanta. So it's like that, but it's stone bridges going across, and pretty much the entire second level of every building is dedicated to study, research, academia, and all the materials that go with it, which means there are several different libraries devoted to different topics, some general, some specific to one area of study or another. So, is there anything specific you are looking for when you get there? Okay. So you're looking for both of you, you're looking for like religious studies. Look, did you write it in your backstory? What the item was? I can't remember off the top of my head. Mm, okay. Yeah, because if you include it in your backstory, I think it's in your D&D Beyond sheet in the notes because I think everyone's backstory is in that section of the D&D Beyond sheet. Yeah, you didn't put yours in there. So, while you guys are while you guys are figuring that out, hey, while you guys are figuring that out, I'll still be able to hear you, but I gotta take a quick break. So I'll be right back. But I can still hear you. So if you got questions, I'll hear. I just won't be able to answer for just a few moments. Okay? Okay, I'm back now. Uh, oh, and yes, Galdur, you were right. I was the one to name the item you were looking for. I had forgotten that that's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and type that in because I can't remember how I even spelled that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so uh, you, Oak and Galdor, you were looking for books on religion, and had you decided what you were doing, Jacob, as far as the library goes? Okay. All right. So give me a religion check, Jacob. Well, that's it. That's all. Damn. I know. Damn. That's a good one. Yeah. All right. So you realize that what you're looking for is definitely some kind of religious artifact that has been somehow that as far as you know, this is what you can remember from the very little bit that you knew about it. Uh, but this is a some kind of religious artifact that is typically has been kind of passed around through more tribal societies. Uh, it is not a a singular artifact. It is more the name of it is more the name of a type of artifact. Okay, so there are potentially several tribal societies throughout history that you you think may have had something like that. Okay, now as far as the religious research goes, you need to actually do an investigation check. And because you did so well on what you knew religion wise, you have advantage on that. Galdor and Rhea, uh, each of you let me know exactly what you're looking for, and then I'll determine what you guys get as far as information and what you need to roll. Nope, you're rolling investigation at advantage. And you got advantage because you got so high on your religion check. Okay, okay. All right. Uh, Yeah, I saw it. Okay. Okay. So would you be specifically looking for only a book with a like wooden case or wooden cover, or you're just if that if yeah if one catches your eye, then that's like, oh, that's the one I'm gonna look at. Okay. All right. Okay. So for both you and Rhea, based on what you're looking for, I need religion checks from you. Wow, that's like almost the exact opposite for both of you. Yeah, you could say -0 if you want. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, Oak, I sent you a message. All right. So, here's what you guys find out. So, Galdur, in your knowledge of religion is not too great. So, you will in your investigation for finding information, I need you to roll it with disadvantage. Rhea, your investigation for the information you seek is a straight roll. Wow. Bringing it out in the clutch. Clutch. Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. So that was pretty awesome. Okay. So uh, what you happen to actually find a very interesting book that is bound with wood. It is in it is in the section of the library entitled Goddesses, under M for the various goddesses under that are start with M, under Melora, of which there are several different books, but this one is bound in wood. And if you start looking through it, looking for information, what exactly are you trying to decipher from that again? Sorry, I got distracted, so frazzle brain. You're just collecting books. All right. So you are now walking around with a book on your head. All right. Rhea, uh, I will tell you what you discover offline after the game, because the I do not want to type out that information in a long whisper. It will take forever. Okay. Um, you've you found something. You found some information. It's just I don't want to try to word it in a whisper message. Yeah, I don't want to have to write an essay. I would say you are you're happy that you found something. You're not sure exactly what it means, but you think that there's something here. You're just not sure if you're fully grasping the concept of the information, and you think that further research would definitely be required in order to understand. And maybe this book doesn't have it. Maybe I got to find it somewhere else. But uh, well, you found as you're looking through, you guys have now spent about, let's see, it took you about 45 minutes to get here. You've spent about an hour here. It's 5:30 now, almost 5:30 in the early evening, and the you can tell that there are not many people left in the library. It looks like the library is, all of them are getting close to shutting down for the night. And uh, you, in that 1 hour of research and time, each of you basically managed to dig through a couple books and find basically one book that had information on what you were seeking. That doesn't mean there aren't more here. It's just what you're able to find in the hour of kind of pulling out a book, looking through it, seeing if there's anything that references it, trying to say I don't know, putting it back, looking for another, finding it, etc. So far you've each of you really only found one book on the information that you were seeking. Um, and now Jacob, you said you also wanted to look for another book for information about what in specific? Okay. Um, I will need a history check from you. Hmm. Okay. So you're gonna roll investigation, just straight roll. Okay. You with your history check, with your knowledge of history, you know that what you are looking for is very, very, very old information, and it's not it's not here in the religious, uh, the religious studies section of the libraries, and you actually have had to leave the group and walk about 10, 15 minutes away across some different catwalks uh, into another tower and find ancient history. It's not a very large library on ancient history. It's about the total size of the room in that area, and the area devoted to the study of ancient history is, in comparison, the rooms you're in before for like religious studies and other things that you've seen, these are vast, expansive libraries. You're looking at, you know, uh, an entire public library, size of like a nice sized entire public library devoted to just religious studies. Another one devoted to, uh, mining, of course, in this city. But This one is more like the size of a small house in comparison. Maybe it's 1,000 square feet. It's not very big. Digging through it, there's not much here. I mean, what you find is you find some interesting stuff, but nothing pertaining specifically to the shards. Okay. And by the time you finish, it is approaching 6 o'clock. And you see, it looks like some of the stewards of these libraries are kind of hustling through and making sure that everyone is getting out as they start to usher people out the doors. Yeah, they're kind of like, okay, it is time to get out. Please leave. The library is closing. Slash W, and then you start typing their name on Roll20, and then it'll pop up and you pick it, and then you just type the rest of your message. So you're sending a message to Rhea. Okay. Okay. All right. Rhea, you have a response available. You have 25 words with which to reply. Uh-oh, did we lose her? Oh. Well, he's sending another message spell, so you can respond to that one. You can always try. It, it, if if you notice someone watching or something like that, yeah. So give a perception check. All right. You look around and you currently see a one of the stewards in this religious section is walking around and like picking up some books that people have uncourteously left on tables instead of reshelving themselves, and you can hear him muttering under his breath, "Stupid bastards! Don't put these away." He's pissed off, obviously, and he's picking up these books and putting them on the shelves, and he kind of looks over in your guys' general direction, and he's like, "Out with you! Come on, library closing!" And then he goes back to picking up books and starting to shelve them. You think he's not paying 100% attention to you guys. Okay. Yep. So you would need to make a sleight of hand check. Yeah. You need a sleight of hand check. Okay. Uh, yeah, I got it. I got to roll for him. I got to roll for him right now. But one thing you are fortunate is he does have disadvantage because he's not paying attention. Oh, damn. Yeah, he's busy grabbing books. He does not see a damn thing. he 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 rolled shit. He rolled a one. He rolled a one. He's not paying attention at all. I didn't even have to roll the second one. He rolled a one. All right, go ahead. If you're gonna try to steal it, roll enhance ability or roll sleight of hand. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's oblivious right now. Galdur's turning in, yeah, Galdur's turning into an evil being. All right. So, okay. So, all right. So you guys managed to get out of the libraries. You managed to get out of the libraries with your borrowed books. And no, 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 nothing. No, no alarms. No alarms that you can tell. Not, seems to be, that you guys walk out without anyone the wiser. Eh, okay. All right. Roll your perception, or I should say his. Okay. All right. So, and he just perched on your shoulder right now? Okay. Um, as being the size of the ancient history library area, uh, the steward that is ushering you out. I mean, you're like the only one in there, and so is he. So he's like just kind of, he's almost like kind of pushing you with his hands almost to try to get you to, you know, politely leave. And as Hrim is looking around, that's all he sees is this one dwarf and a bunch of dusty books and nothing much else. Any what? I didn't catch that. Oh, okay. Okay. You want what? What is this braille? Uh, what are you talking about? I do not. Well, I tell you why you are here. You are here to leave because library is closing. So, Google. No, hurry, hurry. It is time for dinner. I need to go. It is 6 o'clock. It is when we eat. Yeah, you. Oh boy. Yeah, you need to realize you are in the biggest bureaucratic nightmare of a city in the entire world, as far as you know. Of course, there is a scheduled time for all work to stop, and it's time to eat and start drinking. So, oh yeah, oh yeah. So, so he finally gets you out of the actual library section there, and you are now in one of the hallways that goes to different library sections, and you, as Harim is looking down the hallway, you can see any other of those libraries or pathways, areas of study. All the doors are closed, and the last door to close is the one that you're being pushed out of. Uh, Everything else is closed, and you have pretty much just pathways back out of the tower structures, the stone towers, uh, that you can take. But everything else seems closed, and Harim would notice that the dwarf, after he gets the door closed behind, which, like most of the doors in here, is actually a heavy stone door that seems to actually move very, very smoothly and without making a huge, racket to close against the wall, and almost disappears because of how fine the craftsmanship is, that it's so precise that the seam is just small. Yet there seems to be some kind of locking mechanism on there that he takes a key off of his hip, puts in and locks, and then puts back in and rushes off to go get his dinner. Okay. You guys go there as well? Okay. All right. You guys find yourselves there at the column. All meet up. Oak, the uh, the seamstress, again, who was named, or who got newly named again. I remember. I got it right here. Marley. Yeah, Marley Goldgrinder. Yep. She smiles at you, and as she's, kind of tidying up a little bit, kind of putting some of the tools of her work away, and says, you know, that is all I have to teach you. I hope you learned some things, but it's time to eat, so please. Okay. Um, Roll a d4. Okay. All right. So let's see. Where were you? You come out of the door. If you came out of the door there, and so that's gonna be that way. So that's east. Okay. All right. Yeah. You. You are heading in a direction. hmm Basically, yep, you walked out of the door and you really only had two main choices, either right or left. You could have walked straight, but then you'd have been walking off the road onto the roof of another building and would have had to hop down. Uh, or you could have gone, or you could have gone behind you, but you would have had to climb up a building, walk across its roof onto the street. Uh, but you apparently chose to go to the right, and yep. Hey, it's just what you decided in the spur of the moment, or the fate decided, I should say. And yeah, yep. And go Oak did. Just walked out the door, turned right, and just kept walking. Um, yeah. All right. Now it is back to our other three contestants in this crazy game. Uh, you three are now at this pillar. What are your plans? What do you want to do? Well, that depends on it. Distant. Yeah. Well, time wise, if you were to do just standard walking pace, uh, time wise, it would from where you are, it'll probably take you about an hour and a half walking. If if you are trying to sneak, you're moving at half speed. So that would be a 3 hour trek. You roll roll a perception check. Yeah, you can all roll perception if you want to look around for them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see it's not like the streets are instantly deserted. Everything has just everything has just closed down basically. So the streets are actually crowded because everybody is on their way home or to a bar or a restaurant or somewhere. Everyone's on their way somewhere. So there are rickshaws everywhere. There are also just pedestrians everywhere. And it's moving at a decent pace. It's just there's a lot. So you guys have anything else you want to do before you hop in a rickshaw, or okay? In the dwarven city, yeah, you stick out. You see that I could see. I could see them, or I don't think I could see them not noticing Oak. I could see Oak not noticing them. Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, you guys hop into the rickshaw. You start heading. You're heading back to the hotel, or are you heading somewhere else? Okay, so you're heading that way. Um, let's say it's been about 20 minutes or so. Uh, Oak, you've been walking for about 20 minutes. I need you to roll another d4 as you come to an intersection. Actually, just roll a d6, and it's basically going to be a d3 because you have three directions to choose from, unless you want to turn back around. Okay, so you continue straight past through the intersection. Okay, uh, and you're continuing to walk. You've noticed that after it's been about 20 past 6 or so, so it's been about 20 minutes, that the streets for a while, when you first got out of that shop, the streets were pretty busy, but now they are clearing up pretty well. There's not as many people out and about. Seems like people have gone indoors somewhere. You still see a few rickshaws escorting passengers somewhere, probably to their home or to a restaurant or wherever. Uh, but you know, it's the traffic, so to speak, has thinned out quite a bit. You guys see the same thing. You just happen to be going on a longer ride to get to where you're going than a lot of the people. So as you're going, again, traffic is thinning out, and another 25 minutes or so goes past, and you pull up in front of Ladya's Inn. Okay. Oak. Uh, so we're kind of jumping back in time here. You're still at that 20-minute mark. Okay, so 10 more minutes pass. You're at 6:30, and I need another d6 to determine what direction you go. Okay, so you turn left and head down to the base level of the city. So you're now on the ground floor of the large cavern, uh, and you're walking towards the central city. Yeah, you are walking towards the center city where the huge towers are. It's a goodly bit off. You've walked this before, and from where you're at, it's probably a good half hour, or more walk from where you are to get into the central stone towers of the center part of the city. Yes, sure, go for it. Straight intelligence check. Okay, you recognize this area. You've you've been through this intersection before, and you know that. Okay, the main city's right in front of me in that direction. I can see the towers. I know that's opposite of where the hotel is. The hotel's not that way. It's up. So you know you have to turn around and go directly behind you to get towards where the hotel is. Okay. So you walk on. Okay. The shop. Okay. Okay. Left instead of right. Okay. So before you realized which direction you were heading and recognized it, you had gone 5 minutes towards the center of the city. So it takes you another 5 minutes to get back to the intersection that you turned left at to head that way. You then go, oh yeah, uh, I'm smart. I remember. This is where I turned. So you turn right and start walking that way. Okay. 30 minutes later, you are now in front of the glorious spindle. So you have thus far walked for an hour and 10 minutes about. The other three, you guys arrived at the Lodges Inn. Uh, probably is about 25 minutes ago, about half hour ago almost. If you have looked for Oak, you don't know where they are, where Oak is at. Uh, so, ah, I like this spell. I like this spell. This is a good one. Uh-oh, did he freeze up? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if his is even. Hopefully, it's still connected. Yeah, it's recovering lost connection. So, oh, there you go. You're back. All right. So you had cast your spell. Okay. Uh, I need you to make 4 perception checks then. Hmm. Okay. Now, which is which? Uh, as you said. So Hrim is the top, and then you said left, right, and or left, up, and down. Okay. So so the one that went up, as it goes up due to the height it's getting, okay, when it kind of completes its circuit and turns around to come back, and the one that went down, when it gets down to towards the bottom, both of them have kind of turned, and you see Oak, and this is about, since this is when you get back there. Let me see, where is Oak at that point in time? Actually, at that point in time, yep, at that point in time, it would actually be Hrim himself. Because, Oak, you have just gotten back to the crossroads, basically, of where you turned to go toward the city, and you are now starting to walk back towards the Glorious Spindle. and Hrim sees Oak, and you get that image. And you see, oh, there's Oak. You can tell Oak is probably a good 25-minute walk away. Yep. I still I still think Oak would need to make a perception check to realize that this is the same owl that Oak is used to seeing. Some strange owl and then three more like fly directly up in kind of into your face. Okay. Yeah. Yep. That's our Oak. Yes. Yeah, I just got like a Vlad the Impaler vibe. Not long. As I mean, what's you got his flight speed pulled up? 60? Oh yeah. I mean, and he's gonna be not 60. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, he's just searching, so he's gonna be using basically double moves. So that's 120 feet around. Yeah, it maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, it really didn't take too long. Are you just going at a walking pace, or you kind of like, you know? Okay, so you're probably you're moving pretty good. So it only takes you about, instead of 25 minutes, you're there in about half the time. About 15 minutes, let's say. Um, so sitting there, it's now oh like 7:15, maybe 7:30 actually, somewhere around there. Uh, and Oak and Hrim and his children finally show up, and now all of you are back at the inn. Oak, 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 roll a perception check. Oak, what, what the heck is this strap on my shoulder? As you look, and you have apparently, Marley, as you are walking out of the glorious spindle, looped a bag on your shoulder, and in the bag is folded up very nice and neat Rhea's dress, your shirt, and some Galdur clothes, and a payment slip requesting the payment for all of the work and clothes that were done. Uh, it was in total, if I remember the amount right, it was about 515 gold. The bulk of that being Rhea's dress and Galdor's dwarf clothes. Which was 15 gold. Well, now, well, do you try any of it to see if it fits tonight in your human form? Okay. Yeah, so you owe 15 gold. Rhea's dress was 300 and your outfit Galdur was 200. You don't have that. Is this another piece of jewelry? Yes. Yep. The wall you, you can find some empty space in the wall, but as mentioned yesterday, these are it's very well decorated, and so there are uh, paintings and stuff up on the wall, so you can find some empty space, and if you really wanted, you could like pull a painting off and go behind it, but there's nothing besides the decorations that are in the room on the walls. It's the the floor. There's stone, but there are also like throw rugs of very nice quality that are placed in certain places around to accentuate the look of the room and make it look very nice and inviting and regal. Just, I mean, very opulent. But there's definitely stone floor there, which is nicely worked stone, so it's nice and smooth. So there's no, if you're looking for symbols, somebody else putting a symbol there, you don't find any on the walls or on the floor. You can find tons of good places on the wall or on the floor. It's just how depends on how big you want to make it and if you're trying to hide it behind anything. Yep. Okay. Yep. Come on, you're both dudes. It's not like Oak's never seen one of those things before. All right. Is there anything else that anyone wants to do before you guys go to bed for the evening? Okay. All right. Well, as Diana is not here, unfortunately. Uh, oh, nice, nice oak symbol, oak, and Rhea's symbol. You guys who are watching on the stream, you can't see this because in our Discord they popped up this their holy symbols, and so yeah, Oaks is quite imaginative and very much oak. It's very oak, yes. Um, if you guys want to join the Discord, hey, go ahead, one of you guys, and pop up the Discord forum. Uh, you know the command. Come on, it's simple. Uh, there it is. If you guys want to join the Discord, so you can see those kinds of things, uh, go ahead and click on there, and we'll make sure to copy those interesting pictures and tidbits into the uh, the general group areas so that you guys have access to those. But yeah, since Diana's not here and it is almost time and it's time for bed, I will say that um, other than Jacob and Diana, does anyone else have anything they want to do before you guys go to bed, or I should say, before Jacob and Diana perform? Okay. Is it a kilt or is it a skirt? Ah, nice. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna. Okay. All right. All right. Um. So go ahead and roll that perception and add that guidance. All right. Hold on. There it is. Oh, okay. That is okay. Um. I will send you your message in just a moment. Uh. But so that's what you do, Oak. Go ahead and roll a sewing kit roll, Oak. Plus five. Yep. So 1d20 plus five for you. Not bad. Okay. Okay, it's what you end up making that evening is uh, it's functional. It looks fairly nice. It's not any kind of masterwork, item or anything, but it's yeah, but it and it is. It is. You're looking at you're very pleased with yourself. This is good work. It's definitely the best you've ever done at sewing. Using you've got some new techniques. You're like, hey, wow, this is good. Um, and then Rhea, you had been doing anything left for you before? Because we got Galdur and Oaks kind of. Okay, you know the roles, so go for it. And you know the rules on that. And just let me know how many total successes you get before he's done. The DC was 10. The DC was 10. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, yeah. He's actually not into it just because you've been tramping around. You haven't said which. You've either been tramping around the whole day with him at your heels, and he's been in this city walking around all day. He's just worn out. Or if you left him in the room, he's just been bored, and he's just so happy to see you back that he's not focusing on training. He's just wanting to play and lick and be a dog. Okay, so, okay, all right. So, and then what we'll do is we're going to end the session here, and next week, when Diana's back and we have both Diana and Jacob, we will have our lovely performance, and then everyone will go to sleep, and we'll continue on from there. So I want to say thank you to anyone who's been watching us. We hope you had a fun time. This night went a lot differently than I thought it was going to go. I'll tell you that. I thought it was pretty interesting. So I just want to say thank you for you guys that joined. Uh, please, I hope you had fun.